Brandon in Kentucky, pronouns are he, him, has definitely called the wrong person in me, but maybe they called the right person in you. Welcome, Brandon. What's your question?
Hey, if you want to skip this is fine. But
that's fine.
My mother is very anti-abortion, and she believes a lot of false information about it. And I don't know if it's worth it for one, or how to talk to her about it to try to change her mind on the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you have two completely different approaches to that question here. I freely admit I take the coward's way out, mostly because I don't know how to answer that question myself. So I don't talk to it about it with my parents at all. I leave that topic completely alone. It is the third rail that will blow up the entire family, and we will all go our separate ways and leave pissed off at each other every single time it's tried. And part of that is me, and part of that is my mom. It takes two to have a conversation. She's not willing to have any conversation that doesn't agree with her, and I'm not capable of making her see that position is irrational. So I don't know how to answer your question at all. So I don't do anything. I think Matt's got a slightly different approach than that, though.
Not much. And here's the thing. I no longer have any sort of arguments or discussions about religion or political positions with my parents. That just doesn't happen. They've been very clear, have literally acknowledged that the quote was, I think we are closed-minded on this issue, and that they don't want to discuss it. Given that, I don't get to bring it up because you can't have a discussion with people who don't want to have it. And it may be that you're just the wrong person to do it. Maybe it's going to take somebody else to change their mind. Maybe it's watching something on the internet or seeing a debate or whatever. It may be that you're too close to really have any hope of changing mind, because especially with mothers and children, I'm 53. I'm still my mom's baby in her mind. And while I'm held to the standard of being a responsible adult, living life, and they're proud of the fact that, I'm, not in prison and blah, blah, blah. It's very difficult for parents to listen to their kids and acknowledge, yes, my kid actually knows more than me on this subject, is smarter than me about addressing this subject, and I could just be wrong. That's a difficult thing. And when you add in the conflict where, in my mom's case, her opposition is because she has an understanding of Christianity and the Bible that agrees with Hamish. So they're both wrong about what the books actually say and what the view is. And so I just don't. I don't even have one-on-one discussions with people very often if I suspect that I'm likely to be able to change their mind, unless there's an audience, because the real value is in the people who are watching right now, who agreed with Hamish or agreed with whoever, and they're like, oh, now I see what thing is. I'm so glad that I wasn't the one who called in, because I'd be really embarrassed to have said something, that silly. And so they have the safety of not being in the conversation. It's a little different when you're having conversations with parents, for example, and nobody else is around. I had the arguments and debates with my parents many times, me versus two of them every time. And we've just stopped. I have no hope that I will ever change their mind, or that is even a likelihood. And so I have other conversations with people who want to have them. It sucks, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. It's hard seeing her hear her own rights being taken away.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Sure. I'll talk about this after leaving, letting you go, Brandon. Thank you very much. One of the things, this was a right that had no value to my mom, for example. If abortion was completely legal, on demand, absolutely everywhere, my mother would never have had an abortion. It wouldn't matter if it was rape or incest or anything else. Her view is one where she just wouldn't have one. And I can understand how people can have that mindset. I don't think there's it's a personal preference at that point. And this is what prompts a lot of people to say, hey, look, if you don't want an abortion, don't have one. The problem is that argument isn't good enough. It's like saying, well, if you don't want to murder people, don't kill them. In the mind of the people that are opposed to this, that's how it reads. And this is why I talk about it in terms of rights and special rights and what a person should or shouldn't be able to do.